Hello, welcome. I haven't streamed in a little bit. Um, a lot of things happened that kind of just took over my entire life. I kind of do everything myself, so it's hard to really get pulled in all these different directions. But there's some really exciting stuff that I'm extremely happy to be able to bring you. Um, One second. Let me see real quick. Yeah, so essentially what happened is I was streaming regularly for a while, and then I got hit with all of these like projects and whatnot, which is a great problem to have. So I'm not really complaining about that. Just an example of like why I wasn't able to do stuff. Um, I'm I wrapped up on a film for the filmmaker Lauren Waters. She's so talented, and the project's awesome. And I only used guitars, the electric bass behind me, and an acoustic. I used guitars and plenty of other like electronics and synths and whatnot. So today is like the big day where kind of things are getting a little bit back to normal. I'm still wrapping up a ton of quarterly deadlines. I got this new thing. Here it is. I posted about it. The Soyuz Launcher Deluxe. I actually went to their like little headquarters in Hollywood and hung out with one of the guys there, and it's like very tenuously attached to my desk, but essentially it just helps saturate stuff and gives it that like kind of space age 1970s 60s um, color, which is wonderful. I've been playing a lot of Starfield as well. Feels like it's a good time to get back into that. I think you could hear me, everything I was saying there. But yeah, Soyuz launcher has been great. Soyuz microphones really helped me out with that. It was nice hanging with the crew there, and everything. So the big thing, the very biggest thing is my shirts are here, finally. I've been working on it forever. It's been a stupid amount of time I've spent on designing all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, I wanted to create something that was like really special for you guys. I worked with the designer, kind of design house almost, LucentMatter. The designer there that I worked with is Lucy. She came up with some very simple, well thought out designs, in my opinion, that I'm going to show you guys in a second. And I love them. They were printed here in Los Angeles, and I shopped around for a long time for like print pressing places and everything, and essentially became fully like almost a semi-expert in that world for what I want. I went over way too many shirts, and that world is just exhausting, and I wasn't really able to focus on writing the music I want to write. But I picked up the shirts yesterday and really had a chance to look through them today. And the sizing is unisex. I'm going to hold them all up in a moment. It's extra small all the way to 2XL. It's unisex, but in my opinion, you're going to want to size up, because if you want that slightly relaxed feel, these are all 100% cotton. So, they say pre-shrunk, but honestly, they're probably going to shrink a tiny bit. So if I'm usually medium, I would go large. If you're an extra small, I would probably go small. That's just my opinion, if the kind of shirt you want, and all that. So yeah, let's go through them. There's two main kind of colors, the natural and charcoal. The reason I decided on these colors is because I was at like a Spotify event a little while ago, years ago, and I think they had like some like merch manager who like worked with Childish Gambino and all these artists to develop merch for them, I think. And he like pulled up all the classical data since I'm a composer, and I was like, saw that natural, kind of like a dark gray, were actually the most popular colors, and I think that makes the most sense. Also, I have some fun ones, but okay, shirt number one, ready? Here we go. Hopefully it's doing it justice. Shirt number one everything else will follow. And without hitting the microphone, let's get that. So clunky. My name's right there, okay? This is the like natural color. It's not a pure white. It's just going to be a natural. And the print right here is just going to be like a very dark gray screen print on this. So as you guys probably know, everything else will follow. I'm sorry, everything else will follow is the biggest thing is actually a release of mine. And that's just the name of one of the releases. I think it kind of encapsulated the whole sound for that album, and also just in general, like across my brand, a little bit of the dreaminess. That's the kind of natural and gray. Now this one I really like too. This, sorry if this is like a little awkward. I mean, it's hard to kind of show clothing on the stream. And I also haven't streamed in a while, so bear with me. But I like this one a lot. This is the kind of tan yellow version. Woo. Again, it's gonna be like a gray. Everything else will follow. This is a much better way to show it. Everything else will follow. Same copy on it. But now you have this really nice, like almost kind of pale yellow, gold, tan, beige in the middle. LucentMatter did a great job on these. And then we get over a little bit into, again, these are all available extra small through 2XL. Before we get over to the remaining shirts, I just wanted to say that you can actually buy these right now on my website. It's going to be in a link if this is posted on YouTube. It's on my store. Everything's up. And there's also, if you just want the convenience, I integrated a little Shopify site into Spotify. So if you're on my Spotify page or listening to my music in the future, just scroll down and you can buy these shirts. Again, 100% cotton. It's kind of a dark gray, black, charcoal kind of, they call it coal, I think. I think that's fair. Let's keep going though. So this one we have my, and I'm just opening these now, really. So some of these I haven't really seen. But I've taken out some of them. But this is the Trevor Kowalski one. So just my name. And I really love this scene that like Lucy kind of highlighted. Let me just hold it up. Yeah. So this is the like Trevor Kowalski just name. I think this is a large. Yeah. So Trevor Kowalski scene, a little bit of like that dreamy kind of like forest, lake kind of thing, nature that I really think encapsulates a lot of my brand. So this is going to be the coal with the same kind of pale yellow as the Everything Else Will Follow shirt. And then, last but not least, we have what I think is pretty fun. This is a bigger swing on this one. I have the Trevor Kowalski, but we have it in natural, so it's an off-white with like symphony green is what I'm calling it. It's actually a pretty vibrant green. It's not really showing up as well on this. Maybe at an angle you can kind of get the sun on it. It's a vibrant green. I really like this one if you want like a more fun option that's a little more bold. Same like nature scene, same nature setting and everything, which I think is nice. And again, these are all available on my website. Shipping was like gonna usually be processed in 2 to 5 days, which is probably the fastest like we can kind of get them out to you. And then I 100% cotton, like I said, it's a unisex sizing, but the sizing chart's listed on everything. It really would mean a lot to me, guys, if you did want to buy one of these, because honestly, this is just like a fun thing for me to do. And I just wanted to make something that I thought highlighted my music and gave you guys a little bit of a way to kind of maybe represent my sound for you. I think both designs are really nice and unique in their own way. And I just wanted to say thanks to LucentMatter on this one. And you can just buy them wherever on my site and on Spotify. yeah, again, so it's kind of super awkward just going through all of this, but just real quick. Yep. Everything else will follow. And then we have the white and like dark gray. Everything else will follow. Woo. Got that one. And then I just showed you the Trevor Kowalski ones. So if you want to grab one of those, that would be super appreciated. Like the amount of times I was running around trying to find places. I went into, I guess I'll just tell you guys the story. I went into a print shop and they like advertised on social media. They're like, come in anytime. Don't worry about it. No appointment necessary. Just kind of like come in, look at our merch and our shirts, because you have to decide on what shirt you want to use when you're making something like this. So I was in the neighborhood and I go, what the heck, I'll just pop in. I go in, the guy's like extremely annoyed with me that I jumped in at this time. He's like, you need to make an appointment. I'm like, well, it's set online. You can just come and look at the merch. I want to look at the merch. It's very awkward, very hurried. He told me that they didn't have a type of shirt I wanted, and it said online that they did, and I saw that it was in stock and able to be ordered. And he kept telling me, like, he rolled his eyes at me. It was just an awful experience, and it was like 110 degrees in there. And it was just like, I never actually have felt so bad, like as like a small business myself, where someone's like literally rolling their eyes at you and just like, oh my God, it was a nightmare. So when I found this place in Chinatown in Los Angeles called Press Friends, it was a huge saving grace for my whole idea of this. Super kind, super considerate. It's fun going into Chinatown and just like into one of those shopping plazas and picking this up. And like I said, I just did this big, huge boxes. I have all these shirts. I'm going to get them sorted out and stored elsewhere. But for the time being, yeah, I have them all here. I'd like to not have that situation happen. And everything went well. Lucy was a great designer. LucentMatter was wonderful. I loved picking out the shirt. My mom, actually, my parents were in town, and I was like, let's just take my parents to this Press Friends place early on. And she actually helped sign off on the shirt I chose for a blank. So if you want to support my mom, she likes these shirts. It'll make her happy if you bought one too. And it's again, this is my first time doing something like this. I think I made something really high quality and really nice. It's like a midweight shirt. But again, it's new to me, so like, sorry if my presenting's a little off. But I really do love the shirts. They exceeded my expectations. I think you guys are going to love them a lot. There are not that many of them. There's very few. There's very few of these because I don't know who's going to want them and whatnot. How it's my first time feeling it out. And there's just not that many. So if you do want one, it's recommended to just kind of try and get one either through Spotify or my website. And then, they ship in these nice, like either recycled plastic mailers or a cardboard kind of box. So I'm trying to be environmentally conscious in a way, in a small way there. And it's always great working with like natural, kind of just 100% cotton. So no other blends or anything like that in there. Just very simple, very nice, minimal, well-made, and premium. So thank you guys for your support on that. And people have asked about shirts in the past, and now I can actually offer them, at least in natural and coal. Those are the two colors, with the green, gray, or gold design colors from LucentMatter. So thank you. I've kind of rambled on enough about that. I wanted to talk a little bit about my distribution, which is exciting. I made a big shift from DistroKid. I'm not throwing them under the bus. I think they just grew too big and they were not providing me what I needed in my music. There's no distribution to Apple Classical and anything like that. So getting someone that can like actually distribute to Apple Classical is really important to me. So I found Symphonic. They found me. And then I talked with the composer Tony Anderson, which one of you actually in the comments of an old YouTube video is like, you should talk out to Tony Anderson or whatever. Your music kind of sounds like his a little bit, but like maybe I'm paraphrasing, but it was a kind of just like a, you should keep your eye out for Tony Anderson. Long story short, I reached out to Tony. You guys might have an overlapping audience between my music and his. He was extremely friendly. He also lives in Los Angeles. He's doing some traveling, so we didn't get a chance to connect in person yet. And he recommended Symphonic. Symphonic reached out to me in the past, and I signed on as a partner, which is very exciting. Which essentially just means I have a little more flexibility, and they're willing to make things work for me. And my music, yes, now can be going to Apple Classical. So Symphonic has been good so far. I'm just going to see how that goes, but DistroKid just wasn't enough for me, and it's been great because that's what I started on. When I was in high school, I put like my first piano themes album through DistroKid, and that helped, get me into college. So I will be grateful for DistroKid back then and what they were able to offer, but it just became too convoluted, too complicated, and not the right fit for me as time went on. So I'm very happy to have some of my music over with Symphonic. Everything I've done for labels is going to be elsewhere. So those are kind of the two big things. I mean, between all this merch, I show you the one part that doesn't have design, all this merch, which I really love. Did I even get you guys a clear view of this? Sorry if I didn't. Which I think is a pretty nice design. And then the lake scene, kind of the forest scene on my Trevor Kowalski merch. But those are really the two big things. I mean, also Soyuz microphones kind of helping me out with this launcher. So like essentially my music can sound 5% better, which I think is worth it. And maybe even 10%. And that's in the film I wrapped on. We're not going to be going over any music today. I just kind of wanted to let you guys know that I love that the merch came out how I was hoping it would, and that you guys can get it on my site, Spotify, but no music today. I actually have a lot of writing to get back to. I feel bad that I haven't really made some videos for you guys, giving you updates on anything. I mean, there's plenty to be said about my upcoming releases. I have a single called Lore coming out, I think, in 2 weeks. I forgot what day it is. Next Friday. That's going to be a little bit more like fantastical. I kind of was inspired by like a little of the Tears of the Kingdom kind of world, but also there's definitely a sense of like true crime. So it's a kind of interesting fusion. I love that LucentMatter also designed the EP cover for that. I'm really excited about that. And then the big ones I have coming up is going to be a 3-track ambient kind of release schedule. So September 29th, I have Gentle Steps coming out, which is, I can share more about it then, which is the first of 3 tracks. And then I think mid-October, I'm going to have Cold Morning coming out. And then end of October, early November, the 3-track EP, Optimism is Everything, which is going to have those previous 2 tracks, plus Optimism is Everything, is going to be coming out. And those are so like intentional in what they are sounding like, and I think you guys are going to love those ambient releases. Part of the Optimism is Everything EP. I also think you guys are going to like Lore if you're wanting that kind of more like video game fantastical vibe. I think you're going to like that. And I hope you guys like the merch as much as I do. I think it's pretty great designing, and I think the colors are something I'm excited about. And Symphonic has been good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but I think that's kind of the main. Yeah, the guitars, I'm starting to just like incorporate more guitar and stuff. And that soundtrack, I can't share much about. The project has no release date quite yet because they're waiting on festivals. So when the time comes, that soundtrack is going to be only guitar and electronics. And it's going to be one of my favorite things I've probably written and released. But yeah, shirts, please pick them up if you want them. There's no pressure, but at the end of the day, I think I made something great for you guys. I spent a lot of time. I spent a stupid amount of money making this happen because I wanted to do it right. The attention to detail was something that was extremely important to me, supporting a designer who's helped, but also just making a good quality product for you. And Symphonic is a big thing. So I'll try to stream a little bit more, but please just, check out the shirts. If they're your thing, I recommend sizing up if you want a relaxed fit. And if you want something that's kind of fitted, then I'd say just stick with the regular size, but just be wary of maybe a little shrinkage just because it's that nice, natural 100% cotton. So thanks a ton, guys. I'm going to get back to some writing. I'll have more updates about my classical album. The Twilight Glow is the working title. In hopefully a little bit. But just keep an eye out for those releases next week. And then that ambient cycle starting. Cycle is just like 3 kind of weekly releases that I am really excited about. And that should get us a little bit further down the road. And then we'll see what I'm working on then and what's being able to be released then. So thanks again, guys. Check everything out. Sorry for rambling a little bit. I haven't done this in a little while just because of everything that's come up. And I'm just, and I think I'm using my new interface for the first time. My MK Ultralight interface is just like an audio, essentially how you connect microphones or use software. So I have a new one of those. And that's kind of it for me. But check out the merch. Let me know what you think. Better yet, just place an order. I'll try to get people on it ASAP, or I'll just do it myself, depending on how easy it is, because these will be here for a little bit, these shirts. Okay, awesome. Well, take care, guys. And thanks a ton for just listening and continuing support. Bye.